I had the best day I've had in many years today. Everything went perfectly. Everything went right. Great day today.
I don't know that my day can compare with yours, but I had a play date today.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
With your man friend?
Mm-hmm.
What'd you guys get up to?
Well, you know, he had the bulldozer and I had the tractor. And the backyard needed to be graded, so he would make big piles of dirt, and then I would take them and put them where I wanted them.
So did this guy come over under the impression that you'd be hanging out in the Game of Thrones room and the movie room, and then you conscripted him into yard work? Or was he excited about the yard work as well? Because there was nothing worse as a kid than going over to a friend's house and you're like, man, I can't wait to hang out with Tony and just, you know, play video games. And then you get there and Tony's dad's like, hey, you know, before we do anything, we got to mulch the yard. And it's like, you're not my dad, but now I'm here and I can't drive, so fuck.
Before you describe your play date anymore, let me tell you my example of what you just described. I went to a friend's house when I was like 13, literally thought we were going to play video games because that's the main thing we did together. We like to play video games. And we picked up the dog shit in his backyard. I held the bag, and he used the shovel. He had 2 Labradors, and they cleaned the shit once per week, and it was shit day. And I just remember holding this bag and just being like, you know.
Yeah, I didn't sign up for this,
and I'm just like, this is absurd. I never went back again, ever. I got home and I was like, they had me clean shit immediately. I was like, I was some sort of a poop janitor. Like, I was like, I'm never fucking going back over there. I always had bad experience with like play dates. Just one. There was the play date where I went and the 2 brothers, like there was one brother my age and then he had a younger brother, and the game they played was like basement battle royale with like hand-to-hand weapons like swords and chopping things, not with blades but like hard stick weapons and light body armor. And like all of a sudden I look around and they're gone and the lights have gone off and they're just scuttling around from corner to corner. One of them's wearing a hockey mask. The little brother is. He jumps out from under a pool table, like takes my knees out from under with a stick or something. The other and then it seems like I stepped on some Legos or something and fall on my back. And then I look up and they're both over me like tribesmen, like ah! And then the mom opens the door, chicken nuggets. And I'm just like, holy shit! Like, all my
so basically, you walked into like a Home Alone style trap that they had set for you with Legos and toy cars and broken Christmas ornaments.
I got the feeling that they had these battles regularly. The 2 of them did, and it was a game they played, but I just wasn't in on the game.
I have something similar to that where, so like me and my brother, like we didn't fight, like physically, like punching and whatnot. Like that's really common for brothers to do. I didn't do that, and I didn't think that, like, when I'd hear people say, like, yeah, me and my brother fight all the time, I'd be like, yeah, I bet you do. You argue over who gets to play Mario Kart next, or who gets the, you know, the Game Boy Color instead of the Game Boy Pocket that sucks or whatnot. But I went over to my buddy's house, and we were in the basement playing Halo 1 or something like that, and I was, like, 15, I guess, and they got into a fight over Halo 1 that it looked like the UFC. Like full on fist fight, like holding each other down, and like the guy, one of them was my age and the other brother was like a year and a half younger, but the younger one was much bigger. The one who was my age was smaller, so they were the same size. And I swear to God, I just sat there on their couch as like their mom was yelling that dinner was ready, and just watched them beat the shit out of each other. And then they ran up the stairs because we were in the basement. They're like, I'm telling mom first. I'm not telling mom, fuck you. And they run upstairs, and one of them got higher up the stairs, and I'll just call him Ted, grabbed the other guy and just pulled him as hard as he could, threw him down the stairs, to the point that, like, when we were finally going up to eat spaghetti or whatever they made, like, I just had to, like, walk really slowly up there because I didn't want to be that kid who's there when the kids are getting yelled at. Yeah. But they came up there like, Harold, sit down.
I can't.
I'm too tender. Just shit kicked out of each other. It was ludicrous. But
well, wait, were they the same? Why wasn't the older brother just dominating the younger one?
They were very similar in size at that age. The younger brother like hit a growth spurt real early and hit puberty early. The guy my age was way smaller than me, but the same size as his younger brother. And so it was an even fight, even though they were like 18 months apart. The older one did win in the end. The younger one was the one who got thrown down the stairs. Because, he got cocky and he tried to run up first. You never do that. You always have to flank, just like Company of Heroes.
Absolutely. All right, I want to hear Woody's Playdate story, and then I got one that's more extreme than the one you just described.
So the guy is not just my friend, but he's also my contractor. And our backyard kind of sloped toward the house. And that's an issue when you have grass, but it's a big issue when you get concrete, which would be there with the pool. So, like, the landscape architect was like, you got to fix this grading problem before the pool goes in. And, my friend had said the same thing. It was like everyone who seemed to know their stuff realized it was an issue. So, so my friend got the bulldozer. It arrived yesterday. He started ahead of me while I was, flying and learning to fly and stuff. And today I had a lot of dirt to catch up on, and we went out there and we did our thing. And I worked the tractor and the front end loader and moved the dirt, and he worked the bulldozer. And I goof about like the radios and stuff. It really wasn't like that. It was pretty obvious, like, all right, this is where all the dirt seems to be gathering. I'll put it where all the dirt's supposed to be. And that was that. His bulldozer was so much more effective than my tractor that, like, sometimes it seemed like I'd work for 30 minutes and then he'd come by and it was like, oh, I see. I saved him 4 minutes, like 2 minutes. Like, what he could do with that bulldozer in terms of leveling was so much faster than what I could do. But it was fun to go out there and burn some diesel and do my thing.
Sounds good.
And we got some footage for the vlog. Like, I got, like, nice. Meanwhile, he's doing, like, we're out there. I'm working the tractor. He's working the bulldozer. Colin's got drones flying above, like, getting aerial photography shots of it for the vlog. It was pretty cool.
That sounds pretty cool.
Yeah.
So, when I was like...
Oh, we agreed that next Playdate, go-karts.
Very cool. Will Jackie let you guys have ice cream, you think?
Yes.
If they're good.
Yeah.
Of course. So when I was like 14, maybe 14 or 15, something like that, I had this friend named John Scott. And he always had cool shit. His parents got him cool shit. All of his shit was cool. Like this, he had a badass gaming PC. When I didn't even know what a gaming PC was, he was like, I built it myself. And that seemed like rocket science to me. I was like, you built it? You mean you like created the microchips? And,
right.
That's what I'm imagining. I'm like, you forged it? Like,
he puts the welder's mask down and starts welding something, sparks flying.
Yeah. Remember, like Ash versus Evil Dead, he goes back in time and like somehow forges a prosthetic hand. Like, what do you mean you built it? Like, I thought that was so cool. And he was talking about, he had cool PC games. He had Doom but he also was into paintball. He was that's how I first got into paintball. I think was he was into it, and he had a cool paintball gun. And I was like, I want to play with these guys. That's how I got into it. And he would have paintball tournaments at his house where he'd get, 3 or 4 teams together from the high school and middle school, and we'd all play against each other and have big wars. And his older brother was kind of extreme too. He was into like motorcycles and dirt bikes, and they both had these like extreme hobbies that they both liked, and they went extreme with everything. He was a state championship pole vaulter or something like that. So he was a tall guy. He was like 6'4" and pretty thin. But his brother and himself were extremely competitive at everything. If it was Nintendo 64 GoldenEye, a fist fight might break out, and one night it did. We're just playing GoldenEye, and there's a lot of us there. Like, that was the other thing that was cool. Like, my parents would let me bring like 3 people over. That was kind of it. Like, bring 4 over, and it's kind of a party at that point. This guy would have a dozen kids in his basement, like going crazy down there, going apeshit with zero supervision. Like, it's like a dozen 15-year-old dudes like come over, play paintball for 3 hours, and now we go in the basement, we're playing N64. Something went awry. I don't remember what, but two factions came about. The room was split evenly between those who sided with John Scott and those who sided with his brother, and a war broke out that involved darts, real darts, the kind that are sharp. He starts hurling these things back and forth, and so we all take up darts. Some of us don't want any part of it, though. I'm one of them. There's no eye protection. And so a lot of us end up hiding in a room. And so we're hiding in the room, like barricading the door so they can't dart us. Because a few people have been darted and like are bleeding. And like darts are sticking into the walls and shit. And I don't mean they're like, fuck you, bro. It's like, arr, 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 like hurling these things like they're javelins or something as hard as they fucking can at each other. And it's mostly John Scott and his brother, but they've each got at least 1 or 2 lieutenants who are down for the cause too. And I'm slinging a few darts myself, if I'm being honest. Anytime I get a chance, I'm trying to poke somebody.
That's self-defense darting.
So we're so my team falls back to the to like recover in this room. A couple of us are holding the door, making sure they can't get in. The door doesn't lock, and they're trying to get in. It's pretty serious. There's screams.
Wait, are you keeping out people who also don't want any part of the darting?
No,
that's what it sounds like.
No. They're trying to dart us. We're keeping them out. And there's people. There's a couple guys holding the door, and then there's a couple guys trying to catch their breath. And it's a basement that's been like.
This isn't the end.
It's yeah. No, this isn't the end, Frodo. yeah, it wasn't Frodo. So this is a basement that's separated by like drywall walls that are only like 8 feet high, and then there's a tile ceiling, like a drop ceiling, because it's higher. So all you got to do is move those tiles out of the way, and you can go up and over the wall. And all of a sudden, it was like that scene from Aliens, where it was like it got quiet, and everybody's facing the door, like ready for them, and then we were like. They're in the ceiling. And the fucking ceiling tiles move out of the way, and darts start raining from the and everybody pours out the door and is running through. Like, one guy went through a window, not through a window, but like goes out a window. There's 3 guys trying to go through a sliding glass door, and you can hear the darts. Clop, clop, clop. It was a dart fight. I didn't get darted. I'm pretty sure I darted a guy in the back. And I definitely saw there were 2 or 3 guys that got darted badly. John Scott had one stuck in him at one point, and he made light of the fact that it was stuck in him, and he thought it was pretty funny. They were hardcore guys. John Scott died right before prom. Hey, he was driving a Super Sport Camaro, hit a tree going like 110, 120.
Oh.
Not much left of him. Good friend.
Was he sober?
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Just
You just
driving
had
too fast.
Just driving way fucking really fast. He liked his.
Like